So we're going to be looking at how we can track time. Now, this is very, very crucial, especially if you have employees that are on a wage, an hourly wage, right? You want to make sure that when you have them keep track of their time or you keep track of their time, that, you know, whether you calculate the exact minute or exact hour that they clock in, okay, whether you penalize them for that or not. But this is a great way to be able to keep track of those kind of things. Another thing that you can use billable time is you can also do it for any projects that you have, or maybe for example, your subcontractors, right? They can be paid based on time as well, right? Because you're, especially for services, that's a great example of how you can use time to measure some kind of way to convert that as a way to cost out what you need to cost out for. So in this case, we want to make sure that we have our time tracker on. So in this case, we're going to go to edit preferences just to make sure we do have that on. I know I have mine on because if I look down here under my employees, boom, there it is, enter time. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and show you in order to, if you are planning to use the time tracker, you're going to go to edit preferences, okay? And then on the left panel, you're going to go all the way down to time and expenses. You're going to go to company, and then right at the top it says, do you want to keep track of time? And you either answer yes or no. In this case, it's already on as yes, so I can click OK. And here it is at my bottom is this little icon right here to enter time. Okay. Yes, so you have to have it toggled on for you to be able to utilize this feature.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so now the first thing that we're going to be looking is going to be entering time in the timesheet. So by doing this, we're going to look at what happens when we go ahead and click our little icon here for enter time. Now, as you can see the little triangle here. Now it's going to ask you, do you want to use the weekly timesheet or do you want to do a time/enter single activity? So you do have the capability, right? So this, you can use it as like a daily, like a time clock, right? Your employees can use this to enter in their time every single day, right? Based on a single activity. Or you can actually use a weekly timesheet. This is more for payroll, right? You tell your employees to record their hours and what they've worked for that entire week, and be able to do it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and use the weekly timesheet. Okay, and it's going to populate this right here. In this drop-down menu, it's going to be the list of people that you want to keep the track of time for. So in this case, I can, I have people all over here that I want to keep track of time for, right? And then, of course, make sure the number one thing before even entering in the person's hours or whatever it is that they're using the timesheet for, you want to definitely make sure that the week that you're on is reflecting the week that you are intentionally having them get paid for. So in this case, I am right here. I am week April 24th all the way to April 30th. Okay, so that gives me, if we look carefully on here, we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we got a whole weeks of information right here. And then here we have our customer/jobs, what was their service item that they did, okay? So all of these things you're going to have to actually create ahead of time in your payroll expense list, okay? But we'll talk about that later when we're moving into chapter 11 when we actually start paying them, okay? But in this case, we already have a preset, so there's nothing that we need to really toggle here or there. Now we're going to enter in the employee's name, and in this time, this person that we're going to be doing here is going to be Mr. Mike Mazowski. All right. Now this is the tricky part because I need to have you guys.
Excuse me.
Okay, I need you guys to help me look at this chart here because it doesn't really tell you what his times and his hours are. So you guys are going to have to really use your eyeballs for this one. Okay, so for Mike Mazowski, he has done for his activities. Oh my gosh. Right here, he has the academy. I don't even know what that says. I think that says Anderson Wedding. So he did the Anderson Wedding, right? And he
Yeah. it says
Anderson Wedding.
Wedding planners.
Mhm.
Kumar
Uh-huh.
and
And then what does the
Soul.
second portion say?
Something in
It
Nissan.
I think that says indoor photo shoot. And then the next item is going to be
Hourly
hourly regular, okay?
and then wedding shot.
Okay, so let's go ahead and fill that in. So our first item that we have here is okay. We got to make sure that we have the person here, and we want Mr. Mike Mazowski. Boom. All right. For the dates, I'm going to actually mess around with this one just because January is kind of far back. So I'm going to say this was last week. He did this last week. Okay. So here, first thing that we got to do is we got to make sure that we know that the first task that he's getting billed for, or he's, tracking his time for, is the Anderson Wedding for the Anderson Wedding planning. Okay. And the item here is going to be the indoor photo shoot. Okay. And the next one is pay rate. So this is regular. And we'll talk about this later on when we actually start setting up our, so tomorrow we're going to be setting up how we would like to pay our employees. So in this case, it's already preset for us, right? He's just keeping track of his time so he can get paid for this. Now, here the next one's gonna be notes. Is there any notes that you want to add here? If not, that is okay. So let's go ahead and see what days and what hours did he do for Anderson Wedding. So in this case, he
So we've got Monday, pretty much. Oh, I can barely see this. Monday, it looks like 5 hours.
so Monday he did 5 hours.
And then in total 5 hours.
Okay, so on Monday he only worked for 5 hours. So we're gonna go ahead and type 500. Okay.
Right.
Now the second item that he has done
Cruz Maria.
for the branch opening, good, for Cruz Maria branch opening, for the outdoor photo shoot, again it's hourly regular, and for the notes, okay, so they do have notes, but I can't read the notes, so I'm gonna skip that one. So here he has done it
On Tuesday at 6 hours.
hold on,
Um,
we skipped one.
Oh, did we?
Yes, we did. We skipped one for a staff meeting. We skipped the first one, which is a staff meeting. Yes, we did.
Oh, yeah, staff meeting.
Yes, that's okay. We'll put that as the next item, okay?
Okay.
So in this case, so he did one, so he did the second one for
Second one was
Maria
3 hours.
Cruz. The Maria, oops. Maria Cruz branch opening. He did a outdoor photo session. And it is again hourly,
Regular.
regular. Now, because we skipped the first one, which on Monday was those 5 hours. So we have to change that because on Tuesday is when he actually did the photo shoot for the first one. And then the next one, he also did another Tuesday. So I don't even think that's 5 hours. That looks like 3 to me.
The first one?
This one right here.
Oh, this third one? Yeah. That is 3 hours. It's 6 hours. Then on Wednesday, 3 hours. Thursday, 6 hours. And the total is 15 hours.
Okay, hold on. Let's go back up one. Does this say 2 hours or 3 hours? Right here, the second line. The second line.
Is 2 hours.
2
Wait,
hour.
wait, wait. No. Wait. The first line. The first line. Okay, we're looking at the second line. The hourly rate, staff rate. The first line has the 5 hours. Then when you come down to the second line, for
I-
Anderson Wedding Planners,
2 hours. That's what I have on my.
yeah, it's 2 hours, right?
Okay,
On
so
Tuesday.
Anderson wedding on Tuesday was for 2 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and make an adjustment there because we marked that one as the staff meeting on Monday. So I'm gonna clear that one out. So in this case, we did 2 hours for Anderson wedding here. Okay? And we only did 2 hours for the Anderson wedding. Now the next day, the next thing that we're looking at is the Cruz Maria,
Yeah.
and we did a total that looks like 5 hours to me. It could be 6.
It's 6. The first one is 6 hours on Tuesday.
6. 6 hours on Tuesday.
And then 3 hours on Wednesday. And then another 6 hours on Thursday. For a total of 12 hours. I'm sorry, for a total of 15 hours.
Perfect.
How do you even see?
I don't even know, but the funny thing.
Magnifying glass, that's the only way I'm able to see it, 'cause otherwise, with my glasses, computer glasses and reading glasses, I can't see this at all.
No, my eyes are watering trying to figure,
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
Okay.
make it out.
No worries.
That's the only way I can see this.
So the next one we have here,
Next one is Mason Bob.
Bob Mason for an outdoor photo shoot,
Right.
hourly regular. I'm not gonna even bother the
It says
notes.
Site Photo School.
Okay, and
And then the
shoot.
first one is, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So we got Monday for 3 hours,
Uh-huh,
Wednesday for 5,
uh-huh,
Thursday for 2,
2, uh-huh.
and then Friday for 4. Or Thursday.
Thursday looks like it's 8.
Okay, so let's go ahead and type it in. So Bob Mason.
That's 8, it's either 8 or 6, no, it's an 8.
Okay, Bob Mason. He ordered an outdoor photo shoot.
A total of 18 hours.
Outdoor. Ooh, where's my mouse? Outdoor photo shoot, hourly regular, so it automatically filled it in for me. And so Monday, again, what was Monday again? 5 hours.
No, Monday was 3 hours.
Okay.
Wednesday was 5 hours,
Wednesday was 5 hours.
Thursday is 2 hours,
Thursday is 2 hours.
and Friday is 8 hours, for a total of 18 hours.
8 hours for a total of 18 hours. Perfect. Good. And then lastly, we got to remember that because we forgot to enter in our staff meeting, I'm going to go ahead and not have those two things blocked out or empty. This is going to be a regular hourly pay. And in here, I'm going to go ahead and make a note because I want to make sure that this is for my staff meeting. And it was on Monday for 5 hours. So as you can see, every single day that he's done, it's been, okay, it's been for 8 hours. So 8 hours here, 8 hours here, 8 hours here, 8 hours here, 8 hours here. So he is getting paid for a total of 40 hours this week. All right.
Okay.
And we can go ahead and click save and close.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That was easy.
And then it says, oh, okay. So yeah, you can't bill for a staff event, for a staff meeting.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Make sure that you select that, okay? You can't bill for a staff meeting.
You can't
Okay.
go for a staff meeting.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And that's it. That's how you keep track of someone's time. Now, if we go to our employees, now Mike is actually not supposed to be an employee, but if you need to look back or fix anything that's on his time counter sheet, whatever you want to call it, you'd be able to find it here. Oh, nope, I don't see it anymore. Huh. Timesheets. Okay, here. Oh, this transaction. No, I don't see his timesheet. I have all here. Notes, to-dos, sent email, transaction. So I haven't paid him yet. Okay, and the reason why we haven't paid him yet is because we do not actually have a payroll processor. So, when we move into chapter 11, you're going to see a little tab here to pay my employees. And for this case, because you actually have to pay a subscription in order to pay your employees because, again, QuickBooks, it does one thing. But if you needed to handle payroll for you, there is a subscription that you can pay for that can help you prepare all the necessary taxes that you need to take out of your employee's paycheck without even have to calculating it. So it saves you a lot of time. Now, as you guys remember, when we looked at payroll, how difficult it was for us to have to do that. Now, just for keepsakes or things like that, we are actually able to see it by going back to enter the time window. And I enter in Mike again. And I go ahead and toggle the date again. And I would actually be able to see his weekly payroll right here. Okay, just in case you need to fix it or maybe we need to make an adjustment to it, it's here. And again, when we move into the payroll section, you'll get to see what it's like in order to pay our employees. Okay? So that is how you do this one. Keeping track of those kind of things. Other than that, being able to print the timesheets, yes, you can actually print them out. It's pretty straightforward when you're going to print a timesheet. Follow these steps here. You're going to go to File, select Print Forms, and then select Timesheets. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. If I wanted to print out my timesheets. So I go to Print Forms, and I select Timesheets. Okay, so what's gonna happen is if I were to print my timesheet out, right? I'm gonna say I'm gonna print it out for the week of the 24th. Okay, so I don't know if I can print preview. I don't think I can. Print preview, select all. Okay, preview. Okay. Nothing to preview for no timesheets were selected. Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to select the timesheet. So if I were to go ahead and select this one, nope, I don't see any timesheets there. There you go. Here's Mike's. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click preview, and here is his timesheet right here. Okay, it gives you a pretty nice graph, and then on top of that, you can use this to verify with your whoever your payroll processing company is, so they can go ahead and submit this information in and be able to produce your paychecks for you. Okay, now if you use Intuit to pay your bills for it, again, you need to subscribe for it, and it does all the calculations for you. So you don't need to do anything at all. All you need to do is just set up which accounts go to where and which agencies that you need to pay your proper income taxes to, as well as your proper taxes that you need to pay for having employees. So again, this is how you can go ahead and print this out for your either for your boss or whoever you're submitting this this timesheet for. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and click close out of this, and I'm gonna click cancel. All right, because we're not gonna print that out. But yes, you can print out this schedule. And you know what? I'm actually probably going to screenshot this so then I can have this for the next class because, this book is awful. You can barely see anything, and thank you, Andrea, for squinting your eyes for me.
I wouldn't be able to see anything on this.
All right. Okay, so then invoicing customers for time. I want you to read this, okay? So yes, you can invoice them for time. It's I guess similar in a way, but I think the most thing that you want to also use the timesheets is primarily for your employees. You can even use it for yourself, right? If you have an annual like an annual event that's happening, right, or a project that you need to measure yourself for, you can use the timesheet for that reason. Now remember, right, when we're looking at our timesheets, right, we have the possibility to have infinite clients, peoples, vendors, whatever it is, to keep track of the time. So you, as long as it's a vendor or whoever it is, and if you're the owner, you're going to be considered other, right? You can't be an employee of your own company, so you're going to be considered as other. And that's how you just keep track of your time. Okay, pretty straightforward as far as using the timesheet on QuickBooks. Keeping track of whether you're billing your customer or whether you keep track of a vendor or keeping track of your employees. It all comes from the same place. So reading up on entering time, whether it's for you or your partner, I'm going to have you guys just go ahead and read that because it's essentially the same thing except you're placing yourself in there. Okay, pretty straightforward. And see, and then actually this one's actually more clearer than the previous one, but this is when you're trying to have either you or your partner keep track of the time, whether it's a project that you're doing, right? How much time are you investing into this project? You can measure it that way as well. Okay, so I'm gonna have you guys read that because again, it's the same thing. You're just using the same timesheet as far as keeping track of that. Now, after we've done that, last thing is going to be looking at time reports. There's actually only one report that you're going to do, and it's going to be figuring out time by each person's name. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and take a look at that, and we're going to go ahead and click the report based on each customer/job. Okay, so let's see where we have to go. So we're going to go to reports, and then we're going to select time and mileage. So you can actually keep track of, even if you have like a mileage expense or anything like that, you can actually keep track of that as well. So in this case, let me see if I were to close out of here. Then we're going to go to reports, and we're going to go to jobs, times, and mileage, right? And here we're going to take a look at time by either job or time by name. So the people that we're recording the time for. As you can see, we have Mike Wazowski, right? And here are the 3 events that he has kept his track of time for. And that's all that we have, because, if we're actually boiling it down to every single person that we have in our list, whether it's us as the employer, or the owner of the business, whether it's your partner, whether it's another contract vendor, right? If you want to do that, it's up to you on if you want to be able to do this, okay? But yes, it will give you a list of all the people that are underneath that has submitted a timesheet, okay? It will not show up if you do not submit a timesheet for that specific person, okay? So in this case, we only entered in Mike Wazowski. And yes, and that's like typically the only report they actually recommend you to look at. But again, if you just go ahead and take your time and go to job and time, you can select other reports that are able to. So for example, time, you can do time by job. So I can look up the time that was spent for this specific job. I could do time by name, time by item. So maybe I want to look at my outdoor photo shoots versus my indoor photo shoots, right? Okay. How much time was actually spent? Right there. Okay. And because this is only Mike Wazowski's report, that's all you're going to see. Okay. All right. And that is it for chapter 9. Again, it's a doozy. It's a headache. But you know what? We finally got through it. So let's go ahead and do the review questions, and then if you have any other questions, okay. So here you go. Let's start. Select the best answer to each of the following. All right, number 1, in QuickBooks, you are allowed to pass the time through billable expenses to customers. Okay, so this is what can you do if you're able to pass the time through the customers? A, only if you get paid by the credit card. B, no, if you get paid by a check or credit card, but you don't assign the customer or job to the expense. C, okay, good. If you're gonna get C. Okay, yes. If you use bill or check or credit card, right? Charges, right? And you assign, yes. Remember that little check mark and then that little place where it says customer/job, and you assign the person. Yes, so C is the correct answer. Okay. Number 2, which account types can be used in the expense tab? What does that say? Tab of purchases, transactions to make the expense billable.
D, all the above. Yeah.
D, all of the above. Yes, remember, Remember, this is on the very first page of the chapter, right? It says what you can charge the or what you can have billable for, which is going to be other assets, cost of goods sold, expenses, and other expenses. So typically it's because the key word here is billable expense. Boom, it's any expense.
Right.
Okay, so good. D, all of the above is correct. All right, number 3. If you want to assign an expense to a customer / job, but you do not want to pass them through for reimbursement, do the following in the purchase transaction.
It's B.
B, assign the customer / job and then click the checkbox in the billable. Yes, B is correct.
Okay, I got that one wrong, okay.
What did you put, Lee?
I had D. A
or B?
or B.
Okay, so A, do not assign the customer job,
Customer job,
just
right?
enter the information in the memo field. Okay, remember, this is if you want, okay, if you want to assign an expense, right? If you want to assign that expense to a specific customer / job, but you don't want to pass it through, right? What you do is, again, you can assign it to that person, but you don't have to, you can click the checkbox so it's not visible to say you're going to bill
Well,
them.
in the question itself, it says if you want to assign expenses, so that really should have knocked the number A out.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, it says do not assign, but the question says if you want to assign.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Okay.
yeah, that was stupid of me. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. So the one thing about QuickBooks and accounting in general is you need to read very carefully. Everything is very detail oriented. But for me, I just want you to get the concept. Okay? And yes, there's lots of backlash when it comes to that. But let's continue. So number 4, okay, which of the following tabs appear on the choose billable time and cost window? Okay,
I have all of the above.
all of the above is correct. Now I want to do an example, but I have to create a billable item for that. Or I have to charge for a billable charge for that to pull up that window. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and do one real quick so I can show you. But before I do that, let's go ahead and answer number 5 so we can just get that out of the way. All right. In an invoice, you can automatically mark up the pass-through expense using the markup account option. Okay, if it's available in the choose billable thing. So what do you say? Is it available in the items tab, the expense tab, the time tab, or all of the above?
I also had all of the above on that.
Okay,
I did too.
let's go ahead and explore it.
Question mark.
Okay, let's go ahead and explore it because this is actually relevant because it's asking you where do you see this markup option available for. So in this case, let's go ahead and do another example. Let's say I don't know, I bought, so let's go ahead and do the purchase order from a supply because they are our friendly people that we like to buy from. Let's say we bought a custom 5x7 wooden frame, right? Let's see, do we even have a wooden frame? No, we don't. What about metal? Nope, we don't. What am I doing here? Purchase orders. So I don't have any items in here? Okay, well, let's just go ahead and just say I have a custom custom. La, 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 la. So here's the camera I was talking about. Let's just do another custom camera. Okay, but this time this custom camera is not going to cost as much as what it was before. Let's say this is a cheaper one. It's only $199. Okay, and let's say I made a purchase. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, select that, and click OK. Now let's go ahead and bill Mr. Bob Mason because he's just such a great customer of ours. Bob Mason. Okay, and I don't see him. Let's do Mason. What? Oh, no. We're receiving the bill from A Supply. Right? Right. We're not doing the customer just yet. So A Supply, I'm gonna go ahead and press tab. Now it says you have a purchase order. I'm gonna select OK. So here we're gonna get charged for Walnut Creek for $199. But this time I'm gonna bill it to Bob Mason. Okay, and it's billable. Okay, save and close. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do an invoice here. I'm gonna create an invoice and it's going to be for Bob Mason. All right, and then here comes the window here saying you got some stuff here that are billable. So if you can see, the question number 4 is asking is when you see this window, what are the tabs that you see? In this case, you see time, you see expenses, you see mileages, and you see items. In this case, we purchased an item for him. We bought them a custom camera. For $199. Now let's explore question number 5. If I go into my time, is there anything else that you see in this section right here? All I see is click on options, okay? No. What about if I go into expenses? What do I see here?
Markup.
I see my markup options amount and my under the expense tab. Yes. Now let's check mileage.
Okay, so B,
Mileage, there's nothing there. Items, nothing there. So the only tab that you do see that is only going to be on expenses. So I'm gonna make sure I just put this
the
out.
markup is under the expenses only.
Yep, only on the expenses. All right. So I'm gonna go. Okay, so there I have the invoice, and I'm gonna charge him. Let me see. I'm gonna charge him 30%. Okay, so there you go. So that camera is now $258. And I'm gonna go ahead and save and close. All right, just something fun like that. Okay.
Yeah.
And there you go. We answered all the questions. I gave you the example of exactly how to answer the questions. All right, any other questions in regards to chapter 9? Again, it's a doozy. The first part is confusing, but my favorite part is the time part. Any questions in regards to it? Like, why do we need to do this?